Hey there, biologists. Sydney here. In this unit so far, we've been focusing on Mendelian genetics, where one version of a trait is completely dominant over another version of a trait. This pattern tends to result in very clear distinctions between traits, such as yellow or green peas in pea plants. But do all traits follow this pattern? When we look at more examples from nature, what do you notice? Sometimes, instead of seeing one trait or the other, we see something in between. This brings up an important question. How do we explain these patterns and how do we model them? In this video, we'll be exploring this question and more as we learn about non-Mendelian patterns of inheritance, including incomplete dominance and codominance. In another video in this lesson, we'll tackle traits determined by multiple alleles. Ready, biologists? Let's get started. Take a look at this flower. It's called a snapdragon. In snapdragons, flower color is determined by two alleles, an allele for red and an allele for white. Let's say we cross a plant that is homozygous for red flowers with a plant that is homozygous for white flowers. What might we expect the offspring to look like? If this followed simple Mendelian dominance, all of the offspring would express the same dominant trait. But when scientists actually perform this cross, something surprising happens. All of the offspring have pink flowers instead. How might we explain this result? We might conclude that pink represents a blending of the two traits. It's neither red nor white, but something in between. This is called incomplete dominance, a pattern of inheritance in which neither allele is completely dominant, resulting in a blending of phenotypes. So, what does this mean for how we model inheritance? What do you think stays the same and what do you think changes? Pause and record your thoughts in your guided notes. Interestingly enough, most of the process stays the same. Each parent still contributes a random allele to each offspring. These alleles come together to create offspring genotypes, and we still use Punnett squares to organize our predicted results. The key difference is how the heterozygous genotype is expressed. This brings us to an important distinction. Up to this point, we've been using capital and lowercase letters to represent dominant and recessive alleles. But in incomplete dominance, neither allele is truly dominant. So instead of thinking of one allele as stronger, it can be helpful to think of them as contributing equally to a blended result. Some scientists use different letters, like R for red and W for white, to show that neither allele is dominant. Let's practice modeling these alleles with a new question. If we cross two snapdragons that are both heterozygous for flower color, what flower colors can we expect in the offspring? Pause the video and complete the Punnett square now. Each parent should have the genotype RW, and your Punnett square should look like this. What's the genotypic ratio? Our genotypic ratio is 1 homozygous red to 2 heterozygous to 1 homozygous white, or 1 to 2 to 1. It's the same genotypic ratio we would expect if this were a Mendelian trait. But let's see how the new pattern of inheritance affects the phenotypic ratio. What do you think the phenotypic ratio is in this example? There are now 3 phenotypes, red, pink, and white, so our phenotypic ratio now has 3 numbers. It's 1 red to 2 pink to 1 white, the same as the genotypic ratio. This pattern of incomplete dominance is seen in many organisms and helps explain why some traits appear in intermediate forms. Next, let's look at another pattern of inheritance. Take a look at these chickens. In this example, feather color is determined by 2 alleles, one for black feathers and one for white feathers. But when we cross a chicken that is homozygous for black feathers with one that is homozygous for white feathers, the result isn't black, white, or even gray feathers. This time, both black and white feathers are visible at the same time, often in a patchy or speckled pattern. This pattern of inheritance is called codominance, when both alleles are expressed equally, resulting in a phenotype that shows both traits simultaneously. The Latin root co means together or jointly. So you can think of codominant alleles as cooperating together. Unlike incomplete dominance, where traits blend together, codominance results in both traits appearing fully and separately. So, how do we represent this when we model inheritance? With codominance, alleles are often written in a way that shows that neither one is dominant over the other. For example, we might use different letters such as B for black and W for white. Another common approach is to use a single letter to represent the trait, like C for color, and add a superscript to indicate the specific allele, such as CB for black or CW for white. This is especially helpful when tracking multiple traits because it makes it clear which alleles belong to the same gene. However, for simplicity's sake, we'll stick to one letter per allele in this video. Let's practice this with a new example. In some cattle, coat color is determined by two alleles, one for red fur and one for white fur. When these alleles are inherited together, the result isn't red or white, but a unique pattern called a roan coat. In a roan coat, both red and white hairs are visible across the animal's body, rather than blending together into a single color. If a roan bull is crossed with a white cow, what genotypes and phenotypes can we expect in their offspring? If you feel comfortable, pause the video and complete the Punnett square in your guided notes. A roan bull is heterozygous, while a white cow is homozygous for a white coat. When we fill out our Punnett square, it looks like this. What can we predict about the phenotypes of the offspring? We can predict that half the offspring will be heterozygous, or have a roan coat, and half will be homozygous, for the white coat. Just like with incomplete dominance, the process is very similar to crosses that follow Mendelian inheritance. The main difference is how the heterozygous genotype is expressed as a phenotype. And with that, we've wrapped up our first video covering non-Mendelian traits. We've learned that not all traits follow the pattern of simple dominance. With incomplete dominance, traits blend together, such as red and white alleles in snapdragons blending together to make pink flowers. Meanwhile, with codominance, traits cooperate or coexist together. Both traits are expressed equally, such as heterozygous cattle expressing a roan coat with both red and white fur. In our next video in this lesson, we'll expand on what we've just learned by exploring traits determined by multiple alleles, such as blood type. Until then, I'm Sydney. Stay curious, keep asking questions, and I'll see you next time. Hey, hey.